We're talking about fakeness. We're talking about clones. We're talking about repeating the same old stuff and putting a new package on it. If you're Amazon, if you're Lil Wayne, if you're Walmart, just slap a new package on it. If you're Travis Scott, just slap a new cover on your mixtape and then call it something new. And then it comes in number 2 at the charts. Get the people jumping up and down. That's all that matters. Cause some earthquakes. But yeah, somebody who caused an earthquake and trying to make the earth move with Shannon Sharpe doing the dirty business on Instagram Live. I don't know how you turn on your Instagram Live on accident and start recording a bang out session with some lady.
This is Show versus Business, where pop culture meets pop money. We host the real Theo Harvey and Mr. Benja. So, Mr. Benja, what's been going on this week?
What's been going on this week, man? As every week, we bring you the hotness. We pick some things dealing with the show side of things, and we pick some things dealing with the business side of things. That show versus business. We got some money talk, we got some creative talk, got some financial talk, we got some artsy talk. That's how it goes. And this week, we're going to talk about a couple things. Disney getting sued because Disney is messing up the whole creativity and the art thing, as always. And people don't like us talking about this. I saw the comments. They were getting mad, like, man, why you bringing up all that Star Wars stuff? That's old news. I'm like, hey, man, it's old enough and it's new enough to keep talking about it because they keep messing up. But yeah, we love Disney. And we got some tools now to prevent against deep fakes that we might talk about. And deep fakes are a problem because they're starting to show up on the internet and people can't tell the difference. They don't know if it's a joke. They don't know if it's real. Misinformation is getting out there. Disinformation is getting out there. We're going to talk a little bit about some other internet shenanigans, not just with people doing deep fakes. We got Shannon Sharpe, we got Alex Hormozy in the mix, and we got your boy Lil Wayne in the mix. Marlon Wayans was in the mix too. All these people in the mix, and I don't know if it's all gelling very well. But we got to stir it up, we got to cook it up, and serve it up. How's that sound, Theo?
Man, let's cook it up and serve it up, man. I love it. I love it. Mr. Benja, who else got served this
Uh-oh.
week?
Uh-oh.
Donald Trump got served, man, on the national stage in front of 55 million people, man. Yeah, Mr. Benja, I don't know if you got a chance. Did you get a chance to watch that last debate?
I don't watch the debates for entertainment anymore. They just piss me off. No, I did not watch this debate. I already know who I'm voting for, so I did not need to watch it.
Oh man, you missed a classic, man. It was a classic case. You were in a debate club, right? Didn't you do some debate back in the
I,
day?
I did debating. I was never in a club, but I was
Okay.
in like this debate group that did debates and brought up dumb stuff. And there was a college professor there. But yeah,
I did debate too. I did it like a couple of times. It was fun in high school. And they had this thing called spar, where it's just they just give you a topic, you just go at it. And I was just like, I loved it. But yeah, man, it was just a classic case of preparation, just meeting the moment. And so for all Kamala Harris's faults, and there's some, I'm not gonna lie, that she's not a totally perfect candidate. No one is. But as a former prosecutor, someone who's been in courtrooms and prosecuting people, she carved up Trump, man. She set up so many traps for this dude. It was just, it boggled the mind. And he fell down each trap. Woof, woof. So what happened was some of the things that she did, the way she did it was like one of her worst topics was immigration. So the moderators asked her a question about immigration. If you don't know, she tends to be a little bit more liberal, and then she's supposed to be this border czar. And then, unfortunately, all these illegal aliens still came into the country, and a lot of people just don't like that. So she was very weak on that. And Trump has always been strong in that. Remember, we're going to build a wall. That
yeah.
was how he started his campaign. So they asked her about that. So she just said, "Hey, we're doing this. This is my plan. This is what we're going to do. Blah, blah, blah." But let me ask you something. Go to a Donald Trump rally. You go to a rally, people leave, they get bored, they're not having a good time. This is a guy that is not speaking for you. So instead of Donald Trump jumping on the chance to just ping her on her immigration weakness, he went down a rabbit hole of how his rallies are really better than she imagined. He talked about his rally for 2 minutes,
Oh, that's great.
messed up his whole time. So he had no chance to even go after her against her weakest point. And then she just saw her the beams. You watch the memes. She puts her hands on it. So she's like, this dude, she just, here you go. Eat it up. Eat it up. And he ate it up every time. It was just like, is a classic case. If you just watch it, if nothing else, just if look, regardless of you who you're voting for, politics and all that, just watch it as a classic case of how you debate someone and bait them. So they end up going way off topic and never make any points against you. So she handedly won the debate. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Did you see when Trump showed up at the what was it? The black something. There was a black event, and
Yeah,
he
National
showed up.
Association of Black Journalists. Yep.
Yes, there we go. Black journalist event, and he sat down. The lady was like, "So you're all types of nonsense. How do you respond?" And she had
In essence. In
yeah, in
essence, yep.
essence, she had this long thing that she said, but she didn't even really say hello or welcome, thank you. She didn't set it up. She was just like, bam. And then he just went off. And it's funny because all they show is clips of him going off. And that is a great way if you're going to play that game of just painting somebody as a mean, nasty person. It's just like the Tom and Jerry cartoon where Tom comes in and the dog is chained up and he smacks him in the face and steps away. And the
Yep,
dog
yep.
just starts barking and can't reach. Every time I see it, that's what I think about. I'm like, this is and that's actually why I didn't watch the debate. I was like, "Ugh, I don't wanna see that."
But look,
I
you go
I
check
can't
it
stand
out.
it.
Just if nothing else, Mr. Benj, just classic debating techniques and what she did to him to get him
Mhm.
off topic of some of her weakest points. And obviously she knew she was trying to define herself to the audience, so she always spoke to the camera. But then it even some of the things she did a moment where she was just like, so this ex-president was like she wanted to say like a expletive, but it was planned, of course, but it
Yeah.
was every moment was full of drama and full of intrigue, and even the way she looked at him and her facial expressions and stuff like that was all planned out. It was like to a T. She just masterfully played what it meant to debate someone on a national stage, whereas Trump did his usual stuff. And so, yeah, man, if nothing else, like I said, whether who you're going to vote for or not, this is just a classic case of look at how
Yeah.
you can serve someone on a national stage.
Did speaking of the show business of it, did there's a clip going around, and I wonder how put together and planned this was, where they asked Kamala what her favorite curse word is, and she says, "It starts with M and ends with"
Not
yeah,
ER.
and then, of course, they go to the clip where she says, "This person,"
Mhm.
and it's timed out just right as if she would have said, "This mother trucker," which is what she was referring to,
I
driving
love it.
trucks. She
So
doesn't like mothers who drive trucks.
yeah, man. Yeah, like I said, man. Yeah, it was a classic case of just someone being better prepared and ready for the moment. And look, whether who you're voting for, look, this is not a political. I know we talk about at the beginning. And James, please put this in. We always want to put a little spice in there. I know there's some people. Hey, if Taylor Swift is going for Kamala Harris, hey, if she can handle the arrows. I guess we can handle some arrows too. But look, again, at the end of the day, look, guys, who you vote for, look, look, we take all comers, man. Pop culture, nerd culture, we love everybody. So it doesn't matter
Yeah.
what side of the political spectrum you land on. Definitely. And give us your comments below, man. If you just, hey, stop out that Kamala talk. I want to hear it.
Yeah, I think after some of our Star Wars talk, we picked up a lot of right wing guys. Not that there's anything, I don't care what side you're on. We can all enjoy Star Wars or hate on Star Wars as much as you want. Same with politics. It's just, but I noticed they're like, hey, why are you talking about this? We're not focused on one thing or the other. It's just both of them are going to come up.
Dang,
So,
y'all want that red meat. I know y'all want that raw red meat. You're not gonna get it here, guys. Go to Shapiro to go watch that stuff, man. Or Peterson. Nah, that's not us.
we serve up our red meat. Nah, never mind. That was a bad joke. I don't want PETA and vegans both to get mad at me. So
No,
yeah.
man.
Hey, but speaking of eating, you're talking I heard something about cats and dogs. What's going on with that?
Oh man, I didn't know if you're gonna pick up on that, but yeah, Trump said something about cats and dogs. That's really all you need to know, man. It's
Yeah, yeah.
basically just some shenanigans about. And that's basically another I think I can't remember what the question was, but it got him such in a tizzy that he basically was saying, "Man, go look at Illinois, they're eating cats and dogs, the Haitians
Yeah,
there."
yeah.
And then the memes, I don't know if you saw some of the memes that came out of that, man, is hilarious. Haitian guys running after Trump when he's got 2 kitty cats in his arms with AI. It's just hilarious, some of these memes, man.
Yeah.
And James, put every meme up there, man. I want to see them all on the reel because it's hilarious, man. Just how this just became a thing of its own. It's just
It's the
the
hilarity is in the memification and the discourse, not the
yes.
actual. Shout out to all the Haitians out there, and if you're not Haitian, go check out the 1804 documentary, by the way, it's pretty good stuff.
No, thanks for that clarification. I think that's the key, man. It's just so preposterous that there's just everybody's just this is ooh, how does this become a thing? It's just like the wing far right kind of social media, man. They just find one little blurb and it bubbles up to the top, man. It's just this is
Yeah.
there's some geese missing. That's really what the story was. There's some ducks missing in Springfield, Ohio, and there's been an influx of Haitian immigrants, right? Because of some of the border stuff. So they just put two and two together, and then this became a thing. And so it's just like crazy, man. They just the stuff they put together. So I don't know, man. It's yeah, politics.
Thinking about the way people process things and the way we get motivated and just how we get involved in things, and this has actually been something of my interest lately. I came from the video game world, and I've always lightly looked into psychology and why people do certain things just to figure out not how to control them in a game, but how to create a gaming experience that works with someone's psychology. And one thing that came up was, of course, and it's the molecule of more, some call it. It's what gives us our drive to move, not necessarily to have something, but to move and want, desire. There's a whole science in there. So I don't want, that's why I'm hesitant with the way I word it, because it's not necessarily just your wants and the joy you feel when you get something. It's a whole thing. Anyway, I sped read a book called Dopamine Nation. It's the first time I've ever read through a book in, I forgot how long it was, but I put it at 3 times speed.
Yeah.
And I usually don't do that with audiobooks. I usually max out at about 2 times speed, but I hit this one at 3 times speed, and it was a head rush. Just
Yeah, hold on. Headline: Read a book about dopamine, got a dopamine hit.
exactly. Yeah, man. I was like, "Holy crap, this is intense," because I couldn't walk around the house and I was doing stuff I'd have to stop, and it's going so fast, just have to stop and listen. I was like, "Wait a minute." And the reason I did this is because I use Libby. It's an audiobook service, but it taps into public libraries. So you actually rent out audiobooks from like your public library. So for any audiobooks I'm not buying or trying to order, like actually pay $10 for, because I go through a lot of these books and don't feel like buying them all the time.
Mhm.
I just use Libby. So, yeah, I got that, and it said, "Hey, you've had this downloaded for, a month now. It's time to turn it back in." I'm like, "Oh, crap. This thing took me, like, half a year just to come off the waiting list, and I forgot to listen to it." And it's, "Yeah, you got a month now. Sorry. You had a month. Now you've got 5 hours." So it's 5 hours.
Mm.
It was a 7-hour audiobook, so I said, "Alright, let me plow through this 3 times speed." Dude, I, like, sat down in the corner like I was meditating and just listened to the book. It was like The Matrix, just
That reminds me of those yeah, those no kung fu now. It's just like you're
yeah,
uploading all this information in your head. Man, I wish it worked like that, man. I did.
dude.
Let me ask you, do you have you retained some stuff? Is there what speed reading it or speed listening to a book at that speed? What do you feel? What are some of the lessons learned out of that experience?
As I said, I learned, you know, how dopamine worked, that it's not necessarily a hit. It's just all of these activators, the dopamine activators start to release and they start to let your body know, "Hey, get ready for this." And your body starts reacting in different ways. Like your muscles actually want to move because movement is a big part of it. You start to walking around, moving. That's why they say, hey, when you're depressed and everything, you don't want to do anything. You get up and start moving because your body's okay. We're moving. What do we want? What is our desire? What is our drive? Why are we moving? And it opens up all these pathways in different parts of the body are like your mind, your hormones, your muscles, your digestive system. It's all working together because dopamine just gets released into the bloodstream. It's not like it's for your arms, leg, or whatever. So the way it's a whole system. And most of the times you're always thinking about how can I just sit down and try to do something? It's no, the whole system. Get up, walk around, change your lighting, put on different clothes. You start hitting from all these different directions that you can control that dopamine rush a little better. A lot of science that went into it, what works and what doesn't, willpower, how much is on your mind and how much is actually in reality. There's all this
Mm.
different back and forth. And yes, one thing I did learn, she kept on referencing people from Stanford. And I found out there's this whole Stanford clique that writes books and does podcasts. And Andrew Huberman is in that group. I think her name Dweck, Carol Dweck, I believe her name is,
Okay.
who's she wrote a book called Mindset that talks about some of this too. But yeah, you asked, did it all connect? And I can actually look back at that book and say, yeah, man, when I sat down and really tried to follow along at that speed, I was stumbling along at first and had to stop and go back a little bit. But when I really meditated on that book at 3 times speed, I want to kick up to 3.5 times speed now.
Oh.
It's it was a rush. And was I caffeinated at the time? I think I might have been a little caffeinated. I don't
You
even
were
do
under the
caffeine.
influence, man. You were getting that dopamine book hit as well as hitting that caffeine. Boy, I love it.
Yeah.
Got that
Now
double hit, man.
when I start doing my podcast, I might have to start doing more hand motions and start using NLP to get it more in the mix because you want to be in the mix.
Yeah, man. I don't want to sidetrack you too much. I haven't finished it yet, but I started down this book called Grit by Angela Duckworth. Have you heard that book?
Yeah, I read that book once.
Okay. Yeah. So I picked it up and she reason number one, I'm raising kids. I'm always thinking like, how do I get my kids to talent is one thing, but that grit, just that never give upness and just trying to understand how to impact that upon them. And so that book is giving me some insights. One thing is just having a purpose higher than yourself. And
Yeah.
you come from a religious background, that's just something innate in you. You don't realize that, hey, this is gonna be okay because X, Y, and Z, what I believe in. And so that's something I'm trying to instill in the kids because I'm like, look, they need some in this world, they're gonna need some grit because things are not gonna work out like they want. Now, granted, there's some people who are extremely talented, but even talent, like she argued, is not a key indicator of how well
Right.
you be in life. And so, yeah, it's a fascinating book. So I'm reading it and just to get some insights on not only for myself, but also how I can impart that on my kids. Yeah, you're right. I didn't know it came out so long ago. It came almost like, sheesh, 10 years ago, but 2016. So yeah, I didn't know it came out that long ago.
Yeah, that's a reference. That's one reference by a lot of people. And yeah, we should talk about that offline because I got a lot on grit
Ooh.
and just
Ooh, yeah. It's offline guy. Go, hey, subscription only, show versus business uncut. Coming soon.
yes, check it out. But yeah, I sent you that young Brian Tracy. And I mentioned the NLP thing in there too because it seemed like he was on that NLP tip at the moment, where he was
Yeah.
just like really careful with his words, his movements, and the way the camera and everything. Yeah, man. I
Yeah,
fell out of this.
natural language processing, NLP, right? Combines computational linguistics and machine learning. Oh, no, that's something else. I'm sorry.
That's natural
Neural
language processing.
yeah, no,
Talking
was
about
it
neuro linguistic.
linguistic programming, thank you. So it was created in 1979 by Richard Bandler and John Grinder. I just remember that Tony Robbins was a big advocate of it back in the 80s and stuff like that. And a lot of folks used it, but it's fallen out of favor lately. I don't know.
Oh
You
yeah.
know why that is?
Um, I think it's because it felt a little cheesy,
Mhm.
and I think a lot of it has blended into marketing in general. And
Mm.
I could see Tom Cruise was big on that actually. And I see it blending into people like Ty Lopez, Grant Cardone, maybe Russell Brunson, the way because I remember he had this one speech that had me going. And he was just like, "Yeah, listen, so you've got to do this and you've got to do that and you've got to do this. But then you just said to yourself, how do I not do this? I did it by this." And you're like, wait a minute, because he's throwing extra nods and maybes and should, you must. And you're like trying to follow along and it's throwing you a little bit. And then he says, the answer is take out your pen, write down your name, put it on the form. That's just that easy. And he had this speech, and I was like, huh, that was very entertaining. A week later, I hear Grant Cardone saying that he had that speech brought in the biggest on stage sales of any product that he had ever seen. And that was when he was doing ClickFunnels from the
Mhm.
10X GrowthCon stage. And I was like, huh,
Mhm.
it really did work.
Yeah, and that's the thing I always concerned about these gurus. It seems like there's a little extra stuff they don't tell you about. It's like you read their books and they give you some insights, but there's one little, oh yeah, I'm using some NLP here. I'm using this little magic from Tony Robbins. Oh, I got a partnership with Grant Cardone and he's helped me get in front of 1 million folks. So it's just, but you can do it too. All you gotta do is ABC. So it's I think that's always the gap. And then also between the gurus and you. It's yeah,
Yeah.
they'll tell you some stuff and you can get like maybe 875, 80% there, but there's that extra 20% they did not tell you that piece of it.
Like any magician, mentalist, or somebody or hypnotist, what they don't close the loop. They start this story and they don't close the
Mhm,
loop. If
mhm.
they close the loop for you, then they don't they're not able to pull you along because you don't have to go along with them. When they don't close the loop, your mind starts to close it for them, which automatically pulls you along in their direction.
Mm. There it is. There it is. We figured it out, guys.
Yeah, as I said, in video games, it's how do you get the person to the next level? And it's, you give them a red key and then you show them a green door, and they're like, huh, okay, I guess it doesn't go to that door. So as they go off looking for the red door, in the back of their head, they're like, there's a green door back there. And it just sticks with them for however long. So yeah, we spent a good time on that. But
Good.
yeah, is Brian Tracy still alive? Right? Yeah, he's still doing stuff.
I think he does. I think I have one of his books there too. But yeah, he's old school. You know what we should do, Mr. Benja? We should go. I think we talked about this before, right? You chase Andrew Carnegie, right? The steel
Mhm.
magnet, and then Norman Van Peele and all these guys. There's a tree you can actually find it of all
Yeah,
the gurus when they started this, and then Tony Robbins, right?
yeah,
And it starts branching out further and further. Maybe we'll find an internet meme of that somewhere
yeah.
because I want to see that tree.
I want to help build that tree if it's not already built, because at some point it splits and
Mhm.
you have massive action on one side and law of attraction on the other side. They
Ooh, look at you.
they used to be one thing together, which is when I go back to people like Napoleon Hill.
Mhm,
Money and business were all wrapped up in money, business, and spirituality were all wrapped up in the same thing. You go
mhm,
back to the founding fathers, it's this was their religion to take over, and it was all
mm,
one and the same.
mhm,
So this whole spiritual side and the other side, they weren't apart. Now they are. So interesting
mm.
stuff.
Yeah, I love it, man. Look at us. We're solving deep philosophical stuff, man. Golly, this is what you come to for show versus business.
That's right. Do it now. Do it now.
Do it now.
Now.
What are we gonna talk about, man, next?
Yeah. So Brian Tracy's still alive, but we have a few people who weren't, and we're just going to run through these pretty quickly. I just want to give them their props. Rich Homie Quan passed away. We didn't mention him before. He had a few hits, and he was progressively growing as an artist, and not like he didn't blow up the stage and just become great and rare, but he was steadily growing and still around. But they say he died of an overdose, so died too young. Not sure if it
Mm,
was, but that was the word.
mm.
Also, Frankie Beverly of Maze. Were you a big Frankie Beverly fan?
Who wasn't, man? If you went to
Yeah.
HBCU and had parents that were black, we all joy, and so it's just all the classics, man. Yeah, rest in peace.
And another old school individual died. Wally Amos from famous Amos Cookies. Did not know he was still around, actually. You just assume someone like that is already gone in the history books, but he was from Tallahassee. And famous story, he developed this cookie recipe and it was all great and he was selling it. And he ended up selling his name away and famous Amos Cookies came around. And then he wasn't able to capitalize on his name and likeness, which we'll get into a little later, but he's still known and recognized as a pioneer.
Yeah, shout out to him. Everybody remember those cookies, man. So definitely, yeah. It's like one of those kind of. It was not as, to be honest, derogatory. Well, not derogatory, but just almost self defeating, like Aunt Jemima, right, or
Mhm.
Uncle Ben. he was like the face of a black man, but it wasn't as derogatory, as
Right,
demeaning
right.
somewhat. So you're like, okay, I get down with Famous Amos.
That black man got some good ass cookies. That's
And
it
he wasn't a
was,
butler and he wasn't a maid. So that was fine. Now he wore a hat and he looked like he liked to
but that yeah, yeah.
take part of the good stuff, but it's all good.
And I wonder how that in fact, I wonder how a lot of those brands would have developed if they had grown in a black business environment as opposed to a white environment that took their likeness and decided to
Mhm.
try to sell that because
Yeah.
you're selling the image, the
Yeah.
crafted image as opposed to the actual soul of the
Mm.
product.
Oh, I love it.
Soul food. I should go watch that again. Brother Marquise, you know this guy?
I do not. I saw that
Yes,
on
you
the
do.
show notes.
2 Live Crew.
Who's Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you
Not
know,
like a
Uncle
church
Luke.
brother, just a
Yeah.
brother.
Well, we all know Uncle Luke, right?
Yeah, we talked
Uncle
about
Luke.
Luke. Yeah, Brother
Okay.
Marquise passed away. He was one of those guys that was always around, never like too far in the spotlight, but he was always there doing what Do Live 2 Live Crew did. And
Gotcha. Mm.
finally, James Earl Jones passed away. Commanding voice, commanding presence, just a generally strong person in the community that we always rock for. And we bring him up mostly on this podcast in terms of Star Wars, the voice of Darth Vader, and just made Darth Vader happen the way he did.
Yeah, man. I think what Mufasa, excuse me, get me right.
Yes.
Don't get at me, internet. Mufasa, that booming voice, man, and just I didn't really get Lion King when I was younger, but as I got older, man, it's just maybe a little tear starts running down my eye when he shows up in the cloud and tells his son, "Go to your home." I was like, dang. Now I have a son myself. It's funny. I don't want to derail our RIP moment, but it's just when you have kids, man, everything looks totally different. I watch stuff like this all the time. Oh yeah, this happened to the kids, whatever. Or I watch this, but what's whatever? Who cares? Kids are kids. I don't have no kids. I don't care. But man, once you have kids, man, your whole viewpoint of the world just shifts, man. It's oh wow, man. I understand why this movie is important to so many people. So
Yeah.
Lion King is definitely up there because of and then basically a black dad doing the best for his son. And so that was awesome. And then obviously we talk about Darth Vader, but another big moment for us was King Joffrey Jafar from
Coming to America.
Coming to America. Thank you. And dude, it's just that booming voice, that royalty, just that he came, the presence he had. And he's been in so many, obviously, he was a big stage actor. The rumor, well, he had mentioned that he stuttered a lot when he was a kid. So he practiced and practiced to be a great orator. And that shows you what happens, right? And just that
Yeah,
voice
yeah,
is so distinguishable. So, yeah, man, rest in power, man, to him and the power and the stuff and what he brought. Oh, Field of Dreams, that's another one. I forgot about that one. I
yeah,
forgot the character he played in that, but just that was in that magical Negro realm. But
yeah.
it was such a you build it, they will come, right? That whole kind of motif. He was just around and it made some magical moments. So yeah, rest in power.
Did you? A lot of people didn't know that later on in his life, they did a Darth Vader. I forgot which show it was, but Darth Vader's voice showed up in the show, and they assumed James Earl Jones went in the studio and recorded that, but it was actually an AI voice, and I think that was a field test. And a lot of people just didn't know that it was an AI generated voice that was created from all of his old speaking roles as Darth Vader. So and before he passed, he actually signed away his vocal likeness over to Disney. I'm not sure if it extends to other characters like Mufasa, um, or any other character they might decide to pull from, but we definitely know that Darth Vader's voice likeness is going to be a James Earl Jones AI voice. You
And
know,
so real quick, I got something to ask you real quick.
yeah, go.
Was it the one at the end of Revenge of the Sith where he says, "What about Padme?"
Oh,
No!
er,
No. I joke, sorry.
I don't know. Not it came later than that. I'm pretty
Yeah, I
sure.
know,
Yeah,
I figured, but that's just the funniest line of all history, I don't know, just the delivery of that was just, "No!"
yeah. Let me. I can't find which one he did.
Was it Obi-Wan? The
I
one
wanna
scene?
say I wanna say it was Kenobi, but it may have
Kenobi.
actually did he show up in anything else post-movie? I don't know. After Rogue One? I'm not sure. I'll have to find that out and look it up 'cause I don't wanna get that one wrong. But, yeah, how do you feel about that, using the AI voice? Is that something that it would be weird to you watching the movie?
I was talking to my what's it called? My guy who cuts my hair, basically barber, and we were talking about that. I was like, you gotta get with the times, man. And if you have a talent and the people want to hear more of it, why not? And that's how I feel about it.
Yeah. And what's interesting is I actually think it works in character with Darth Vader
Mhm.
being roboticized and more of a robot. The fact that his actual voice is now being done by a robot, it's a weird artistic connection there.
Interesting.
Um,
Yeah. Because wait a minute, it
and
wasn't like when he first came out, I don't think they even gave him credit as the voice of Darth Vader. Isn't that correct?
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure
It
when he
may have
got
been
credited.
yeah, I don't we always know, but it's I don't think I ever knew it was like a black guy that did Darth Vader when I watched Empire Strikes Back. It was like one of those things, and then all of a sudden it slowly emerged. Like, yeah, this is the guy who does the voice of Darth Vader.
It says Jones is credited with Darth Vader's voice from the original Star Wars in 1977. So I'm not sure. It didn't seem like common knowledge at all.
Yeah, I don't think so too.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. He was credited, but he declined to have his name appear in the actual credits of the film.
yeah.
So it was known, it was on papers and everything, but he said that, yeah, there's a story behind it that I'm not going to get into here, but yeah, he didn't want his name actually in the film. So you can go, guys can go research why exactly.
Wait. Are we not gonna have another Reggie Jackson moment?
Reggie Jackson. Oh, wait.
When he got upset. So what was it like playing as a black man in the Major League for baseball? It was terrible. It's the worst thing.
Terrible. It's the worst thing ever. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, that was actually his choice. So maybe he was just
Okay.
trying to remain low key. And we got to remember at the time, people weren't rocking with Star Wars too much. A lot of people were like, that might be a little weird. The character looks a little funny. So he may have pulled back because of that. I don't know. I don't know. But so he's all in good and legal standings with his family's all in good with legal standings. But somebody who isn't in good with legal standings with Disney is the family of the Moff Tarkin actor. Lucasfilm sued for recreating Grand Moff Tarkin actor Peter Cushing's image in Rogue One. This is from IGN. And Cushing died in 1994, and Lucasfilm is now being sued because they used his likeness and they 3Dified him up, made him look a little younger in Rogue One, and apparently they're saying they didn't have permission. I don't know. You hear about this, Theo?
Yeah, I think I saw it on the interwebs as well. So I'm like, why did this come up now? Because didn't Rogue One come out like 5, 6 years ago or something like that? But it looks like Disney tried to get the case dismissed for a second time, but they failed at September 9th. So now it got released into the public. So it probably was a lot of lawyers doing lawyer stuff. Had
Yeah.
a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Like, oh, do you want? Gonna give you some money. Let's settle. We're Disney. You'll never be in Disney again. The good and the bad cop and the bad cop
Yeah.
thing to get the family to dismiss the case. But they finally family persisted, and so now it became public record, and so now everyone knows what happened.
Yeah, and apparently Disney wanted them to shut up. They just want just shut up because later on in the article it says Lucasfilm claims it didn't think it needed permission to recreate his image due to his original contract. Wait, his original contract was in 1977. I'm not sure people would have been able to understand recreating his image. Are they going to put some other guy in a costume, maybe? But actually physically recreating him in 3D. That is an interesting argument. I want to see what that legalese is. But Disney said it didn't think it had to and decided to pay them $37,000 to just shut up.
Shut up. Go
Yeah,
away.
they didn't.
They didn't.
Apparently.
Nah. You know what? This is another thing. Did you see this other story? This is similar lines. People just going after Disney. This couple You heard of the Club 33 in Disneyland? Have you heard of that club?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's exclusive club for people. They pay $31,000 a year, and then to start getting into the Disney fix. So if you're a super Disney fan, you pay this, you go to this exclusive club. They have you go to Disneyland, you get to ride all the rides, front of the line. You get to sit there and have coffee and drinks and hang out with folks. You get like tickets all the
Yeah.
time to invite people. So there's one couple, they got kicked out of the the 33 club, and they've been trying for the last, I think it's 7 years or so to try to no, last 12 years, try to get back into it. And they spent $400,000 to sue Disney to try to get back into the club. And they fail, and they're not giving up. It's hilarious, man. So this is shows you like Disney is weird, man. It's like they get a hold of you and I'm a Disney fan.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm saying this as a Disney fan. But I see what they do. They get a hold of when you're young and you built that nostalgia in you. And then you get older and you don't want to share with your kids, or you just like, man, I want to go back to that time. So you go to Disney and enjoy it. But then you realize how evil they are because they do things like this, right? Kind of prevent you from getting back into the thing that you love. Or we talked about that couple that got the husband that's trying to sue Disney, or they take things away. And then we know how litigious they are, right? If you do
Yeah.
anything that's opposed to their image and their IP, they go after you wholeheartedly. Whether you're like a guy on in Times Square wearing a Mickey Mouse suit, they'll slap you for $1 million suit. So it's just, yeah, man, it's weird, man. They just, like I said, not saying that they're totally evil, but there's some, I don't know, some sprinkles of
Shenanigans.
yeah, evilness in there, man. I don't know. What do you think about this? This is just hilarious, man. Just this couple spent more money trying to get back into a club that they got kicked out of that they felt was unfair.
Um, from the Hollywood Reporter, the Andersons, both 60, have been together for 44 years. They waited 12 of those years to receive their Club 33 invitation, shelling out $50,000 for their first year dues alone. They got their money's worth, however, using the clubs upwards of 80 days per year. By their fifth year of membership, the magic was fading.
Mm.
New managers took over, their favorite chef was gone, and they were repeatedly slapped with member violations. I'm wondering what you do to get a member violation in Club 33, but I don't know. The worst of them came in September 2017 when Scott was discovered by park security keeled over a bench in California Adventure. It's- Who is this drunkard? Sir, he's a part of Club 33. That
Oh, hell
bastard.
no. He's out. He's out. Kick him out.
Can't hold your liquor? Get out. Oh, man. Park guard said he smelled alcohol on his breath.
I love it, man. You know what? Look, and I get it, man. Look, I think I made it known on this podcast. I'm a Disney pass holder. It makes sense, right? You go a couple of times a month. That more, Disney price is $100 a pop. So if you're paying a couple $100 to keep your Disney pass holder passes, just makes sense, right? Just to go 3, 4 times. I can
Yeah.
imagine if I was Disney 33 and I'm paying that much money, that I need to at least go. If you're paying $30,000 a month or annually, so what's that, like roughly 2,000 a month? You got at least go 10 times a month in order to make
Yeah.
your money. So why not? And they said it was part of their whole social club, and obviously there's some money making things because they have exclusive that they can buy that no one else can get, and they can sell it on eBay or something, or
Yeah.
they can sell their tickets so for folks to get in. So it was a money making operation too, man. So don't get it twisted. But yeah, man. So anyway, I digress. I know I put down a rabbit hole when you talked about Disney and just suing and all this stuff. It just like that. Yeah, it's the cracks. And we didn't even talk about this on the notes, Mr. Benja, but there was a big 30,000 word article about the behind the scenes of the Bob Iger and Bob Chapek fiasco. I didn't send it to you, but I think we were going to talk about it. But it was every kind of shit show, let's just say it, that we thought about. It was even worse, man. Just simple things like they were on a plane trying to be prepared for their board meeting. Chapek comes to Iger and says, "Hey, can you help me with this presentation?" Iger retired at that point in time. Says, "Hey, take a look at my boat, my suit. Let's talk. Yeah, let's talk about that right now." Chapek gets pissed, goes in the back of the plane and starts looking at the binders and preparing by himself. Then when Iger finally comes back out there and says, "Hey, you want to talk about it?" Chapek says, "Nah, I'm good." Then Iger gets pissed. So it's just, what are we doing here? Why
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is shenanigans on a private jet to a board meeting where they can't even get along to communicate. And basically, they said Iger pretty much mean girled Chapek the whole 2 years he was there, basically saying snide remarks, talking to everybody he could about how terrible job Chapek is doing, even though Iger picked Chapek to succeed him. So it's just
yeah,
crazy, man. The shenanigans that go on at Disney, man. Yeah,
yeah.
I
And
don't. Yeah.
now they're fighting with DirecTV.
Oh man, do we want to get into that right now, man? This is so much money involved in this, Mister
Yeah, we got
Benji.
to
You
toss
don't
some money.
have cable. You don't have cable, do you?
I cut the cord a while back, man. Had to do it.
Yeah, so I have DirecTV. That's like my last stitch of cable, right? I don't have a cable box or anything, but I got this DirecTV that comes up on my phone, right? So that's how I get access to my ESPN, my
Yeah,
ABCs, my NBCs. So I'm coming and said, okay, wow, man, I'm about to sit down and watch this Monday Night Football, man. ESPN. I'm ready to watch it, man. It's gonna be a good game. So I turn it on, blackout. This television show has been blacked out because of Disney. If you're mad, call Disney. We're doing the best we can to help you. DirecTV. I'm like, what the hell? So, Mr. Benja, I don't know if you remember back in the day, there used to be these carriage fights every so often where the content provider, like a Disney, a Fox, a Universal, and the distributor, which is Cox, Spectrum, or DirecTV, will
okay.
get into these fights because DirecTV, Cox, and all them, they pay licensing to have all these content providers provide their content on their cable networks. Some cases, like DirecTV, was paying $2 billion a year to access Disney content. The challenge has been lately is that they're saying, I don't want to pay that much. DirecTV and those guys, they don't have any money anymore. People, like you just said, you're cord cutting. People are cord cutting left and right. They're like, what's the point of having cable anymore? So these guys is like, why are we paying $2 billion for all this stuff that Disney's giving us? I'm talking about like Freeform, Disney Channel. Nobody's watching that crap no more. I just want ESPN. Why are you giving me all this other stuff? So you make me pay $2 billion because you're gonna give me 10 channels, and really I just need one. And so now they're like, this is not going to sustain itself. They already losing money. And
Yeah,
at the same time, let's be honest, Disney is building their own streaming services, right? So that means they're getting double dipping on that content. They produce it one time, they get licensing fees to the cable companies, plus they have their direct to consumer model where they're actually getting paid by you, right? And me to
yeah,
get access to the Disney content. And some of that content don't even show up on the cable companies, right? So
yeah.
like they're pissed. So this is what this is about: money and access to viable content that their consumers want. And so, yeah, man, it's been a blackout for 13 days. They always do it. Check it out. Look up the history. Every around fall, when football season starts, you see this blackout happen, like religiously, because
Yeah,
this is the time to get the customers up in arms. Because football, as we discussed last week, is a
right.
religion, and so if you take football away, people get pissed.
Yeah, I'm just looking through the interwebs right now. DirecTV and people just talking. DirecTV and Disney reach a new deal. All channels, ESPN, etc., will be immediately restored. And people are like, "Yay!" Some people are like, "Boo!" So, said which side conceded? It's like too much. This guy. One guy's like, "Too late. I switched to YouTube TV."
It was something that had to happen. So, according to Deadline, they said they ended a 13-day carriage impasse, restored ABC. That was the other thing. I couldn't watch the debate, which was hosted by ABC on ABC. I had to go watch
Right.
it on CNN. So it was like I went to
Oh,
ABC. I was like, what happened? So ABC, ESPN, and 14 other networks in time for Saturday college football games and Sunday nights Emmy telecast. That's the other thing. I wouldn't, if they didn't get past the dispute, I wouldn't be able to watch the Emmys and give my review of what happened at the Emmys. That I do every year. I
yeah.
might dress up this year, Mr. Benj. I don't know. I might put a tux on for it for the folks. I don't know. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, it will return to series. So basically, what they got out of the deal agreement gives DirecTV rights to distribute Disney's upcoming ESPN flagship direct consumer service, right? Upon its launch at no additional cost to its DirecTV customers. That's all DirecTV wants, right? Give me that bundle that you're going to sell to your other people. Give it to me for free.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going to get. So I think DirecTV was able to get what I think they won. This is awesome because they're like, we're not going to subsidize you giving you $2 billion a year for content that nobody's really watching. I want the good stuff and I want to give it to my people for free. So that way we can help our bottom line. And Disney, you can still sell your direct to consumer stuff, but you're not bothering us. So this is a classic business case, guys. If you ever know about business, it's always about the distribution versus the producer. And
Yeah.
then when we learned in business school was like, you got the people who create something, but then they need the distribution channels to get it out. And so you always have issues with that. So that's why you see sometimes like Costco or even Amazon have their own production line. I think at Costco or what's it called? Sam's
Kirkland.
Club. I forgot Kirkwood. Yep. They call it
Kirkland.
Kirkwood.
Kirkland.
Private label. Kirkland. Thank you. Private label. They control the product and they control the distribution. So guess what? They can lower the cost. So you
Yeah.
want to buy you can still buy your Fruit Loops with the brand Kellogg, or you can buy Kirkland Fruit Hoops for like $1 less
Yeah.
because they control the distribution and the production. And so Amazon, we talked about Amazon, what they do. They look at what's popping, then they come out. What's their Amazon? What's their brand called? I forgot what's called.
Amazon Basics.
Basics, yeah. They create their own version of it because they now control the production and the distribution. Because the cable companies can't control production, then they have to figure out a way to maximize more value from the content providers. But the content providers, as we know, have their own distribution channel, which is streaming services now.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on, man. So anyway, it's business 101. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. And this is show
Yeah.
versus business. So that's what's going on in the world of streaming.
Yeah. And it's wild. And by the way, if you're on Amazon, most of their stuff is listed like Amazon Basics, Amazon Essentials, Amazon Elements. They're starting to change up the names like Target, like Walmart. So the guys are starting to change up the names. So you might be buying stuff that you don't know is from Amazon. Mama Bears, Lark and Row, Daily
Mm.
Ritual, Penzon. It's like Solimo. I said, ooh, I bought me a new Solimo. Yeah, you bought
What did they
Amazon.
say? The easiest thing to do, what I think Alex Hormozy said that. So when you ain't selling something, change your name. Don't change nothing else about the product. Just change the name.
Who there was some company I'm thinking about that pioneered it where they had the high price one and then the other ones, and they just keep fudging around with the name, the packaging, and the size and the
Yeah, yeah.
presentation. And you
Car
pick up
companies do it. Yeah, car companies do the same thing. You got
yeah,
Lexus and you got Nissan. No, was it Lexus and Toyota?
yeah.
They do the same thing.
And that I can actually respect because that's like a different product. You're
Yeah,
not
good
getting
point.
you're getting a Lexus versus a Camry versus a Corolla. You
Yeah.
can start to, okay, these are different Toyota models and okay, whatever. But with some of the stuff, it's I found something in the dollar store, in the 99-cent store. I'm like, this is a lot like what they sell at Sprouts. I walked in there and bought some chips, right? And I was like, yeah, veggie chips, whatever. I was like, this is a lot like what they have at Sprouts. I did the research, same thing. At Sprouts, I pay 5 times more for these veggie chips than I do, and they're at the dollar store.
Hey man, send that to me, man. I might get those things. I know exactly what you're talking about, Sprouts, man. Give it to me. Sprouts is overpriced for no reason, so don't let me get started on that.
I love Sprouts. Don't bad my
Yeah,
Sprouts.
it's expensive. What? No, we're not gonna pass over this.
Okay, okay,
You
but
know it's
you
expensive.
go to
You know it is.
you go to Sprouts only to get the produce and the deli. Everything else is way too expensive. If you get the produce, like their actual name, Sprouts, buy some apples, buy some cucumbers, you'll be like, "Oh wow, I'm saving money." Once you step into the cereal aisle, you're broke. Once you step into the any other aisle, you'll just be broke. So
Okay.
stick to your Sprouts in Sprouts.
All right. Love it.
All right, what else we got? Which one to jump on?
I don't know, man. So many things. You want to do the internet shenanigans?
Yeah, let's
Just
go
a
through the
wild
shenanigans
card. Yeah, it's
because
a wild card.
people doing stuff online and maybe they shouldn't be doing it. I don't know. But the one everyone's talking about, Lil Wayne is all upset and all sad that he's not going to be part of the halftime show because Jay-Z picked Kendrick Lamar. I had to bring this up because Nicki Minaj is going off. Um, all kinds of Lil Wayne fans are like, but it's in New Orleans. It should be Lil Wayne. And Jay-Z is look, I'm picking Kendrick. He's the hotness right now. I'm on I was born in New Orleans. I hope no one sends me any hate for this, but hey, flame me in the comments if you don't agree. But I gotta go with Kendrick on this one, man. It's his time. It's right now. He's much more of a national stage presence and stage name. Lil Wayne be on interviews talking like he's drunk. There's that one time he came up from the stage with the cup of that lean, that drink. And so I don't know if this is the right image for the Super Bowl. I know we go get
Oh,
crazy people, but yeah, I got to go with Kendrick on this one, man. I
wow.
love Lil Wayne, but got to go with Kendrick.
There was a moment Lil Wayne was the best rapper on the planet, right? There was a moment, and so he had his time, and now it's Kendrick's time. And it's been Kendrick's time for a while, let's be honest. But now he's got to supernova him after his battle with Drake and defeated Drake handily. So it's yes, he's certified labeled the best rapper alive
Yeah.
right now. And yeah, I agree. It has to be him. But yes, New Orleans. I was unfortunate. I don't know. Do you know? Does he have any collaborations with any New Orleans artists? I guess that's the thing.
Wayne?
And then they, oh, he does have something with
Wayne
Wayne.
or Kendrick, you mean?
Kendrick. Sorry, Kendrick.
Not that I know of.
Yeah. If he coulda had some kinda connection there, then that would make that nice little, because they gotta put some bounce music in there, man. Big
Yeah.
Frida, come on, do something hot, because that's New Orleans, man. That's they got their own sound, man. The Anita Baker remix of Big Frida, if you never heard that, man, that'll change your life, man. That'll make you see religion.
Don't forget, Jay-Z and Beyonce have a house in New Orleans. So
They probably got 20 houses. Yes,
I'm
they
just
have a
saying.
house, I'm sure,
I'm just
yeah.
saying. No, I
So
mean
does so does Brad Pitt, let's be honest.
they have an actual presence. They have an actual presence there, and they
Sure.
make Beyonce much more than Jay-Z has really made it known that, hey, yeah, I'm looking it up. The information's still there. Yeah, they got their chill spot there, do a lot of music events. Back when she was doing Lemonade, I think you saw a lot of New Orleans being shown.
Good point.
Also, in terms of connections, don't forget that Drake is under Young Money, which is Lil Wayne's label, and that's all tied in with Universal. And Kendrick's not having any of that. So there was another kind of, hey, listen, if we're gonna pick something for the culture, you're attached to Drake right now. That just so it was definitely a play. It's not like Jay-Z is the only guy making the decision on who shows up at the Super Bowl, but that was definitely part of it. So it's yeah, I can't bring Lil Wayne on because what if he wants to bring Drake on and then it's all weird? I don't know.
Mhm. And we know that's why Nicki Minaj is upset. Look, everybody's mad at Jay-Z. Look, he should be for the culture, but he's about his pocketbooks. When Colin Kaepernick was bending the knee, right? Jay-Z was lining his pockets. He took advantage of that and got a big
Mhm.
deal with the Super Bowl to manage the whole Super Bowl performance. I don't know how long that contract is for, but it seems like he's the one that's managing who's going to be the next artist. I don't know, man. It's he look, everybody's mad at Jay-Z because he's making money. This is capitalist society, guys. Don't be mad at him, man. Just figure out he's not wrong. Business instincts are correct. You can't be mad at him because he's making more money than you. Sorry.
I still think, man, Kendrick's just a better decision on this one. They'd be mad at me too. I don't know. Maybe if they caused we're talking about Travis Scott's over here causing earthquakes on his tour. Basically, he got 80,000 people jumping up and down at the same time, and it caused earthquake-like event out in where was it at? In Milan. Yeah, so
Really?
the
I didn't see
ground was
that.
shaking and everything. Yeah, it's out of control. And he doesn't even have a new album coming out,
I mean,
or he had a mixtape album that came out, and
so low key, Travis Scott still trying to stay relevant. We ain't heard nothing from Drake. I think he had a little something pop up here and there when this controversy came up about the Super Bowl, but he's been hush, man. So there's a lane here for someone else to jump in here.
and listen, don't even forget there was the Lil Wayne album that came out last year that absolutely no one heard about.
Mm. Yeah, exactly.
Sad but true.
I'm not a music expert of the two of us, but I take your word for it, Mr. Benja, that no one cared about the album. So Travis Scott may have a shot to slip in there as number two, man. Because I don't think, yeah, Eminem had it. I think he got nominated for Video Music Award. The MTV Music Awards was this
Yeah.
past weekend. He got nominated for that one Houdini, but it sounds just like Slim Shady. So what are we doing here? Have you heard that song?
Yeah,
Houdini?
Houdini's a follow-up to Slim Shady.
But it's
It's a
like,
throwback, and he did the throwback with all the clones walking out.
yeah. So it's like he's living off a couple of the songs. Obviously, the famous one is what's the one? Mom Spaghetti. What's that called? Lose Yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah. So those are the Slim Shady, and that's just what he's gonna live on for the next 30 years, I guess. Was Kendrick is now, man. Kendrick is now. I don't know, Mr. Benja. Did you want to end it on some shenanigans on,
IG. Oh god.
or you want to
Okay,
keep
let's
it? You want
let's
to keep it?
we'll
You want
we'll
to keep
end this.
something?
We'll end this with Shannon Sharpe. We're talking about fakeness. We're talking about clones. We're talking about repeating the same old stuff and putting a new package on it. If you're Amazon, if you're Little Wayne, if you're Walmart, just slap a new package on it. If you're Travis Scott, just slap a new cover on your mixtape and then call it something new, and then it comes in number 2 at the charts. Get the people jumping up and down. That's all that matters. Cause some earthquakes. But yeah, somebody who caused an earthquake and trying to make the earth move with Shannon Sharpe doing the dirty business on Instagram Live. I don't know how you turn on your Instagram Live on accident and start recording a bang out session with some lady.
Wait a minute. This will be appropriate case for that term we talked about a couple of weeks ago called raw dogging. Yes, I think that
Yes,
would be the appropriate word.
yes, yes. Not the airplane raw dog and the original.
Mr. Benja, I agree, man, 100%. I call cap on a lot of this stuff, man. There have been rumors about him being of a homosexual persuasion, which is fine. Nothing's wrong with that. But it's just,
It's
let's
your
admit,
PR move. Is this
is
a
this
stunt?
this it, yeah, it's like we're gonna hear some background noise. Oh, guys, I didn't know I had it on. You know, so
Yeah,
I don't know, man. It does smell of it has a whiff of something.
man, that's all I got. But that is the definition of the word sus. And the whole situation just sus.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So Shannon Sharpe, it's okay, be who you are, but look, man, do your thing. I ain't gonna be mad at that either. He even said again.
Monetizing it hard.
He even said something about what's his name? Cat Williams said, "You're not gay now." So okay, sure, man. If that's what this is about, then fine, man. But it's just, yeah, I agree. This doesn't smack past the sniff test. I forgot to turn off my Hardy Jr.
Yeah.
Number one, what were you IG for anyway? For the first point, you literally have to go on IG, turn on live. Was he doing a live beforehand? I can't.
And you have
Understand
to
that.
accept. Hey,
Yeah,
do we want to go live now and
exactly.
all this?
It's just too much. Just wait a minute. So I'm accepting this. I gotta do this. Oh, I accidentally left it on. No, it's not like it's just sitting there. So
Yeah.
if he had did IG, see, he should have played it better. If he was doing the IG live beforehand, it's okay, guys. I'll see you later, and then put his phone down. Fine. There's plausible deniability, but I don't know, man.
What kind of foreplay involves Instagram? Girl, check out how many likes I got. Check out all these likes on Instagram. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Oh, you ready now? Right now? Okay. And then you put your phone down. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying.
That's that new breed, Mr. Benja. That when they do redefining terms of raw dogging and stuff like that, this is what they do, man. They gotta see. Yeah, I gotta see the likes first. You want these draws? You gotta put the likes. I need to see the likes up.
And
Yeah,
they outed the girl. I don't even if she's a
oh, they
part.
did.
Yeah.
Oh,
He only had 500 or so people that he followed. So they just went through his follow list and found her.
yeah,
And it seems like she may have been in on it. I hope she was. I don't know. She may not even be embarrassed by it. She may be like, "Psh."
I just got immediately this dude, man, do it for the gram. We've been talking about that for what 10 years, so it doesn't stop.
These
The
Tai
grind
Lopez
to
level
be
strategies.
Yeah, it doesn't stop, man, to be popular. And when you think about the numbers, man, of what you can do when you're at that level, we didn't really talk about this, but Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris. Her endorsement alone got 100,000. I think it was like 400,000 people to register to vote.
Mhm.
Crazy. So it's just, I don't know how many. She's got 100 million followers on off of social medias or something crazy like that. So it just goes to show you that level of influence that you have, whether you're Taylor Swift or you're like Alex Hormozy, who's got a couple of million. It's amazing what you can do at that level. We can't even imagine. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Anything else, Mr. Benja?
Nah, that's all I got, man. Shannon Sharpe. I just gotta shake my head and be done on that note.
Yeah, do better, man. Do better. Do better. That's all we gotta say, man.
He did monetize though. Might as well.
You might as well, man. That's what he gonna do, man. That's what he gonna do. Hey guys, this is what we do. We talk about show, we talk about business. So if you like this type of fun talk, but also educational talk, guess what? You can subscribe at Show versus Business on X, Threads, YouTube, and Instagram. Listen to us at Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And you want to check out more about what we do, who we are, what we even do for fun, go check us out on Show versus Business, the website. Mr. Benja, have a good one.
This show's been brought to you by. You have a good one too, man. Peace.